I sang on that record by accident. Now, it happened at the time that I was Sham 69's PR man. I was the PR man for several punk groups and rock groups at the time, and I worked at Polydor Records, the record company that looked after Sham 69, and Susie and the Banshees was another one of mine. Some of the people here are looking at me because they weren't around in the mid-1970s, so I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. But there was this thing called punk that was very popular then. It's actually coming back. I could relive it all. So there I am in the record company, and the office was a sort of anonymous grey office just opposite Bond Street Tube Station, just off Oxford Street. And my office was on the second floor. The third floor was the studio, and the fourth floor was what's called A&R, which means Artistes and Repertoire. It's actually the place where the Simon Cowells of record companies exist. And they just sit there, and people come in with their demo tapes, and somebody sits there and goes, "No, rubbish, get out." And that's a great job. And so that's what they do. And so in 1979, 1980, we didn't have email. We didn't have text messaging. So when I had to talk to people, I had to actually go and talk to them. I actually had to go face to face with a person and talk to them instead of sending an email to the person sitting next to me, which is what people do now, of course. So I used to have to go up the stairs, often to the fourth floor, to see people in A&R. And this day, I've got some papers in my hand, and I'm walking up the stairs, and the third floor, as I said, is where the studio is. And I'm walking up the stairs, and Jimmy Percy, the front man of Sham 69, bursts out the studio doors, and he goes, "Gray, hello, how you doing, mate?" I said, "Jimmy, how are you?" "I'm fine, thanks very much." He said, "Come in the studio, I need you for a sec." Now that wasn't unusual. It wasn't unusual for somebody like me to be invited into the studio. So I wander into the studio and go round the back to where the engineering part is, where all the faders and mixers and all those buttons that I didn't know what they did were. And he says, no, in here. So they went into the studio, and there's guitars and drum kits and all the kind of paraphernalia that musicians have. And I thought, he's got to tell me some deep, dark secret, because we're obviously being taken into somewhere where nobody can really hear us. And he gave me a set of headphones and stood me in front of a microphone. And he put these headphones on me, he said, "Right, I'll be back in a minute." And he went into the engineering part. And there he is looking at me through the glass. And I hear him in the headphones going, "Okay, Graham, there's been a bit of a cock-up. I told the rest of the band that the recording was tomorrow, so they're not here, so I haven't got any backing singers. And I just need you to sing, 'Give a Dog a Bone,' then leave it on its own, 'Give a Dog a Bone,' then leave it on its own." So I went, "Right, okay," so I'm stood there with the headphones on, and the music plays, that music that you just heard plays. And it's playing away, and there's Jimmy in the studio, and you see this in films, don't you? Somebody from behind the glass who points at you, and it's your go. And so there's Jimmy in there, and the music goes, and he points at me. And I go, "Give a dog a bone, then leave it on its own. Give a dog a bone, then leave it on its own." That was Jimmy's reaction as well. He said, "No, it's punk." Or words to that effect. And so we do another take, and I do, "Give a dog a bone!" And that was it. Take two was that. So I have been at number 29 in the pop chart.